We will finish chapter 1 to 3, okay?
Okay.
So be serious.
Okay, I'll be serious.
The Old Testament. The first book of Moses called
Genesis.
the history of creation. In the beginning, God created the
Heavens and the earth.
The earth was without form
Void.
and darkness was on the face of the
Deep.
and the Spirit of God was
Over the waters.
over the face of the waters. Then God said,
Let there be light.
and there was light. And God saw the light that it was, and God divided the light from the
Darkness.
God called the light,
Day.
and the darkness He called.
Night.
So the evening and the morning were the.
First day.
Then God said, let there be a
Firmament.
in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the.
Waters.
Thus God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were
Above.
the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament.
Heaven.
So the evening and the morning were the second day.
Day.
Then God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one,
Place.
and let the dry land.
Here.
And it was so. And God called the dry land.
Earth.
And God called the dry land.
Earth. Here.
And the gathering together of the waters He called.
Seas.
And God saw that it was.
Good.
Then God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit, according to its,
Kind.
whose seed is in itself on the earth. And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, an herb that yields seed according to its,
Kind.
and the tree that yields fruit, whose seed is in itself according to its.
Kind.
And God saw that it was.
Good.
So the evening and the morning were the third day. Then God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the,
Night.
and let them be for,
Signs and seasons.
and for days and,
Years.
and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the,
Earth.
and it was so. Then God made two,
Great light.
the greater light to rule the,
Day.
and the lesser light to rule the.
Night.
He made the stars also. God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the,
Earth.
and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the.
Darkness.
And God saw that it was.
Good.
It was.
Good.
So the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Then God said, let the waters abound with an abundance of,
Living creatures.
and let birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament of the heavens. So God created great sea creatures and every living thing that moves, with which the waters,
Abound.
according to their,
Kind.
and every winged bird according to its.
Kind.
And God saw that it was.
Good.
And God blessed them, saying, and fill the waters in the seas, and let birds multiply on the earth. So the evening and the morning were the fifth day. Then God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature according to its,
Kind.
cattle and creeping thing and beast of the earth, each according to its kind. And it was so. And God made the beast of the earth according to its
Kind.
cattle according to its kind, and everything that creeps on the earth according to its kind. And God saw that it was.
Good.
Then God said, "Let us make man in
Our image.
according to our.
Likeness.
Let them have
Dominion.
over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own.
Image.
In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. Then God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be,
Fruitful and multiply.
fill the earth and
Subdue it.
have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves on the
Earth.
And God said, "See, I have given you every herb that yields seed, which is on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit yields seed. To you it shall be for,
Fruit.
also to every beast of the earth, to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, in which there is life. I have given every green herb for."
Food.
And it was so. Then God saw everything that he had made, and indeed it was very.
Good.
So the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Thus the heavens and the earth and all the host of them were finished. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had done. And he
Rested.
on the seventh day from all his work which he had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and
Sanctified it.
because in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made. This is the history of the heavens and the earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, before any plant of the field was in the earth, and before any herb of the field had grown. For the Lord God had not caused it to
Rain.
on the earth, and there was no man to,
Till the ground.
but a mist went up from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his
Nostrils.
the breath of life, and man became a
Living being.
life in God's garden. The Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground the Lord God made every tree grow that is pleasant to the
Eyes.
sight. Pleasant to the sight, and good for.
Food.
The tree of life was also in the midst of the,
Garden.
and the tree of knowledge of good and.
Evil.
Now a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it parted and became four.
Riverheads.
The name of the first is.
Sham.
It is the one which skirts the whole land of,
Havilah.
where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. Bdellium and the onyx stone are there. The name of the second river is Gi.
Gone.
It is the one which goes around the whole land of.
Cush.
The name of the third river is Hiddekel or Tigris. It is the one which goes toward the east of Assyria. The fourth river is the Euphrates. Then the Lord God took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to tend and.
Keep it.
And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not,
Eat.
for in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely.
Die.
And the Lord God said, It is not good that man should be.
Alone.
I will make him a helper, comparable.
To
Out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every bird of the air, and brought them to Adam to see what he would. And whatever Adam called each living creature, that was its name. So Adam gave names to all cattle, to the birds of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found a helper comparable to.
Him.
And the Lord God caused a to fall on Adam, and he
Slept.
took one of his
Ribs.
and closed up the flesh in its.
Place.
Then the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, he made into a,
Woman.
and he brought her to the man. And Adam said,
These are the bones of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called a woman, for she was taken out of man.
Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his,
Wife.
and they shall become.
One flesh.
And they were both naked, the man and his,
Wife.
and they were not.
Ashamed.
The temptation and fall of man. Now the serpent was more
Cunning.
than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, Has God indeed said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, We may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the
Midst.
of the garden, God has said, You shall not eat it, nor shall you,
Touch it.
lest you.
Die.
Then the serpent said to the woman, You will not surely die, for God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be,
Open.
and you will be like,
God.
knowing good and.
Evil.
So when the woman saw that the tree was good for,
Food.
that it was pleasant to the,
Eyes.
and the tree desirable to make one,
Wife.
she took of its fruit, and
Eight.
she also gave to her husband with her. And he, then the eyes of both of them were,
Open.
and they knew that they were,
Naked.
and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves coverings. And they heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the.
Day.
And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the.
Garden.
Then the Lord God called to Adam and said to him.
Where are you?
So he said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was,
Naked.
and I hid myself. And he said, Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree of which I commanded you that you should not eat? Then the man said, The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I.
8.
And the Lord God said to the woman, What is this you have done? The woman said, The serpent deceived me, and I.
8.
So the Lord God said to the serpent, Because you have done this, you are cursed more than all cattle, and more than every beast of the field. On your belly you shall,
Go.
and you shall eat,
Dust.
and all the days of your,
Life.
and I will put
Enmity.
between you and the,
Woman.
and between your seed and her.
Seed.
He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In pain you shall bring forth,
Children.
your desire shall be for your
Son.
husband, and he shall rule over.
You.
Then to Adam he said, Because you have heeded the voice of your,
Wife.
and have eaten from the tree of which I commanded you, saying, You shall not
Eat.
of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake. In toil you shall eat of it. all the days of your
life.
both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground. For out of it you were,
Taken.
for dust you are, and to dust you shall.
Return.
And Adam called his wife's name
Eve.
because she was.
The mother of all living.
Also for Adam and his wife the Lord God made tunics of skin and clothed them. Then the Lord God said, Behold, the man has become like one of us, to know good and
Evil.
And now lest he put out his hand and take also the tree of life and eat and live.
Forever.
Therefore the Lord God sent him out of the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was.
Taken.
So he drove out the man, and he placed cherubim at the east of the Garden of Eden, and a flaming
Sword.
which turned every way to guard the way to the.
Tree of life.
That's all.
Mom, it was biting her toe.
Oh my God. Okay, good night, kids.